Is it possible to improve your English speaking skills on your own? A lot of viewers have written to me and asked me this very question. My answer is, well, yes, there are ways that you can use to improve your English speech even though you don't have a teacher or you don't have any native English speaking friends to practice with. In today's video, part 12 of The Best Way to Learn English, I will teach you a few methods that you can use to improve your English. Before we continue, if you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so right now. You'll see a little subscribe button. I think it's below the video. Once you do that, you will, of course, get notification of all my future videos. Have you done it? Okay, good. And also, don't forget, if you find yourself liking the video, click the like button anytime. Okay, so let's have a look at some ways that you can improve your English speech, your output, even though you don't have friends to speak English with or you don't have a teacher. Now, of course, let me stress that the ideal situation would be to have lots of native English speaking friends that you can use. Well, you don't want to use your friends, but you know what I mean. That you can practice your English with. And also a teacher. I explained in my last video how a teacher can help you save a lot of time and money while learning English. So the ideal situation, of course, is to have the opportunity to practice English with people and also have a teacher to show you your mistakes and to help you with your pronunciation. But if you can't afford a teacher, and if you live in an area where there are no native English speakers, what can you do? Well, this video will show you at least 4 ways that you can use to improve your English. Excuse me. Number 1 is when you're reading a book, a magazine, a newspaper, a blog, anything, read aloud. Okay, read out loud. When you're reading, don't read silently. Okay, because what reading out loud will help you do is it will help your mouth get used to putting all these new sounds together. When you're reading in your head, at least I experienced this when I was learning Japanese, I could read fairly quickly if I didn't have to read out loud. The moment I had to read out loud, my mouth fumbled and I couldn't get those sounds together and the words just came out in a big jumble. So it took a lot of effort and a lot of practice to be able to read out loud because my mouth simply was not used to making these sounds and putting them together. Funny enough, for an English person, for an English speaking person learning Japanese, there aren't a lot of new sounds to learn. So even though pronunciation-wise I really wasn't learning a lot of new stuff, I still had trouble putting all these sounds together in the order that they show up in Japanese. So it's not only about new sounds, but it's just learning how the language works and the sounds that follow each other in that language. For somebody learning English, where there's quite a few new sounds for most people, it may be a little bit more difficult and more important to read out loud when you're reading. So try it and you'll see that when you're reading silently, you can read much faster than when you try to say the words that you're reading. So push yourself to do that. Read out loud, and that is going to help you in many ways. Number 1, it's going to help you, like I said, put the words together. But number 2, by doing so, you're also getting the words and the grammar into your brain a second way. The first way, of course, is visually when you're reading. But when you're reading out loud, your brain also hears the words and the grammar. And that's a good thing. Now you're feeding your brain the vocabulary and the grammar two ways, visually and auditorily. Auditorily? Audioly. No, not. Orally. But not orally with an O. It's Aurally, I think. Okay, so read out loud. That's the first thing that I recommend. Number 2, repeat lines in movies. When you're watching a movie and the characters are saying things, you can start with short sentences and do your best to imitate those lines. Try to imitate the intonation. That's very important. There are many ways to say the same thing, and they sometimes change the meaning of something. You might say something with sarcasm, or you might stress a different word. If you say, I love you, I love you, you're stressing I, not anybody else. I love you, not other people, but I love you. I love you. Okay, so there's different ways to intone the sentence, and they all carry a different nuance. So by watching a lot of movies or TV, and by repeating that, you'll get a feel for the intonation. Unfortunately, intonation cannot really be taught through lessons. Of course, some things can be explained if you have trouble identifying what one intonation means. Sure, I can tell you, well, the character is not really saying this, he's trying to say this. Yes, but to teach a student all the ins and outs of intonation is virtually impossible. This is something that you're only going to get by experience. That means, of course, mountains and mountains of input, and repeating that will actually help you internalize that intonation. So do your best. I'm sure that you won't be perfect right away, and that's okay. But the more you do it, the more you're training yourself to hear the intonation and to use the correct intonation when you'll need it in the future. So repeat lines in movies and on TV, and that again will help you with intonation and will help you to put these words and sounds together that maybe you're not used to. Number 3, this one, every time I recommend it to somebody, they always look at me and, no, I don't want to do that. But trust me, this is a great way of helping yourself improve your speech. Talk to yourself. Yes, I don't mean have a conversation. Hi, Sil. Hi, how are you? I'm good. How are you today, Sil? I'm good, Sil. So what did you do yesterday? Well, Sil, I went to the store and I bought some milk. Oh, really? Well, sounds like a boring day, Sil. Don't do that. That's borderline. Well, actually, it's not borderline. I think it probably is crazy. Don't do that. When I say talk to yourself, what I really mean is think out loud. Now, that's something that even normal people do sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that. Although you probably want to avoid doing that in front of other people. But when you wake up in the morning, if you're alone or after your spouse has gone to work, or maybe if you're in the car, it's okay. Be in the car, driving to work, all alone, and think out loud. Car cuts you off, say, oh, that damn car, why did he cut me off? Well, no, don't do anything. That's road rage, and that's not good. But you can express your anger. Oh, that jerk cut me off. Or you can think about your day. Today I think I'm going to have a roast beef sub sandwich for lunch, and I'm going to put some mustard on it and maybe a little bit of mayonnaise. Oh no, I'm trying to lose weight, so maybe I should avoid the mayonnaise, and I'll put mustard and ketchup on it instead. And just think out loud. Yes, it sounds a little crazy, but it's going to help you express your thoughts. That's what it is. You're thinking about something, you're putting it in English, you're getting it out there. Talk to yourself. Think out loud. Just trust me with this. I've done it for Japanese, and it's tough. At first, you'll find, how do I say this? I don't know how to say this. And with time, as you pick up more, you will find it easier and easier. And guess what? It's basically the same thing as having a conversation with somebody else. So it will help you when you do have a real conversation with another person. And lastly, keep a journal. Keep a journal. Why would you keep it? Keeping a journal is writing down your thoughts, your ideas, what you did, what you want to do, your dreams. How does that help you speak English better? Well, it does, because it's all interconnected, okay? When you write better, you'll speak a little bit better. Of course, you can't just by writing become a great speaker. You have to speak too, yes, but every time you write something and you think about the grammar and you think about the vocabulary, that helps a little bit. It helps make those make what you learned. It makes that, gel in your head. So there's nothing wrong with that. Keeping a journal will help you think of the right vocabulary. Yes, it takes a lot more time to write, and you have more time to think about what you want to say. So for a lot of people, it's easier to write down their ideas, of course, but it's still going to help you for speaking. It's not my number one suggestion, but it is there. You should try to keep a journal if you can, and that's going to help you with your grammar and your vocabulary. And just by the, when you write, you can hear your own voice inside your head thinking. With just that alone is going to help you a little bit. And of course, if you can combine this with talking to yourself or thinking out loud about what you want to write, that's going to help you twice as much. So you can combine some of these, and that will help you. Now, I just thought of another idea. I don't know where to find this stuff because I haven't done it for years, but there are some communities online where you can, I think Skype, I don't know. Like I said, I know years ago there used to be programs where you could go into chat rooms using programs where you could do voice calls. And you might, turn on the voice and you could talk to people. Something I tried when the technology was new many years ago. Turned out it was kind of boring, really. A lot of these chat rooms didn't have very interesting conversations, so it's not something I continued. But if you're interested in improving your language skills, then that's another idea that you could try. Voice chat rooms. I don't know where to find them. I'm sorry. Go have a look online. Do a search. You might come up with something. But that's one other idea, if it still exists. I don't even know if they do it anymore. So you could try that. I also suggested in one of my past videos to use your English in real life. And I think one of my suggestions was to try to participate in forums. There's a lot of written forums. They don't talk to each other using voice, but they type out. If you do that, that's a little bit like keeping a journal. You can give people suggestions and you can help other people. There's one, Yahoo Answers. That's kind of a board where people put out questions to various topics, and then you can answer and you get points for it, etc. And doing that will also help you express your ideas. If you see a question, you know the answer, or maybe the question is asking for an opinion, and if you have an opinion, then you can do that. And that, of course, will all help you with your output. So these are several different ways to improve your speech. And if you use these, you'll see that you'll get much further, because a lot of students, they study for years and they never do any of these things. And then they find that even though their reading skills and their listening skills might be quite good, the moment they try to have a conversation, That's it. They can't even say things like, yesterday I went to a restaurant with my friends and we had lunch. They can't say that without making mistakes or without pausing in between. That's another thing, by the way, little bonus here. Try to be conscious of your own speech, how you're speaking. A lot of students, I did it when I was learning Japanese at first, and then I realized, oh my God, I'm pausing every 3 words. Why? It's a simple sentence. I know the grammar, I know the vocabulary, I know what I want to say, but I developed a habit of pausing every 2 or 3 words. To give you an example of a student doing that in English, might be something like, yesterday I went to a restaurant with my friends and we had lunch. Now, of course, if your English is at that level and you have to think about it, that's fine. But I'm talking about the students whose English is really much better than that. And they could, if they stopped and they thought about it, they could say that sentence all at once. But they have a habit, it's just a habit of pausing in between words. So be careful that you're not doing that. If you are, doing this will help you remove that habit, to get rid of that habit. Because it's a bad habit to have, and I have known students who have really great English, really. They just have a bad habit, and that's all. And then once I point it out and we work on a few exercises to get rid of it, next thing you know, it takes just a little while to get rid of that habit, but very quickly they're able to progress and then speak very smoothly, and that's always a good thing. So, okay, that's it. That's my advice in this video, part 12 of the best way to learn English. I hope this helps you improve your English. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section. You can do so on YouTube, on my channel, or on my website, sloweasyenglish.com. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed yet, please click the subscribe button. And if you've watched this video until now, I hope you liked it. So please click the like button. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.